Speedbird 851, turn right heading 180. Order 14 Papa, turn right 245, report localizer established.
Hey everyone, welcome to DJ's Aviation. In recent days, rumours have been floating around from sources close to both Etihad and Emirates, stating that Emirates were in the preliminary stages of talks to complete a full takeover of Etihad Airways. Reported first on the 20th of September, this rumour was squashed by both airlines within 1 hour of it being reported by Bloomberg. Since then, people have been saying that the merger is still happening. Others have said that it won't go ahead. Some are saying that it'll occur after 2022, and the rest are simply confused. In this video, my aim is to break down the situation and make it crystal clear and allow you to get a proper understanding of what has and is going on with the two airlines. I'll dive into the losses, impact of a merger, and more. We'll begin with a brief description of what's actually been going on in the last 5 months. The first rumours emerged in May of this year, when similar to what happened a few days ago, people started reporting that Emirates was eyeing a full takeover of Etihad. However, in an interview with Bloomberg, the same agency who actually reported a day or two ago that talks were happening, the chairman of Emirates said, "Many people have reported there will be a merger," adding, "There is no such thing, not at all. I think when we talk about synergy today, it is between Emirates and Fly Dubai. There have never been talks with Etihad about a merger." Which, when you take into account Fly Dubai, it does truly make sense. While an Emirates and Etihad merger could be beneficial for many, Emirates does have Fly Dubai at their disposal with various code-share agreements, and many see this as a key focus for the future of Emirates. In addition, the immediate cancellation of the rumours can mean one or two things. One is that it is completely incorrect and the rumours are false, or it is true and they've been quick to play down what is occurring to not cause a buzz. Personally, I don't see the two merging. This is despite hearing what sources close to the matter had to say to Bloomberg a few days ago. Switching focus to Etihad now. Etihad Airways have been unprofitable for many years and will remain unprofitable to at least 2022, according to many. The financial difficulties come as Etihad Airways, over the course of the past 5 years, continued to invest money into airlines which ultimately failed. These failed investments, among other small reasons, brought Etihad Airways into its current state, and many believe that a takeover from Emirates will be the only way the carrier will truly live. What are my thoughts on this? Well, I believe we should wait. What I mean by that is we should continue to have patience with Etihad during this obvious, difficult time. It's important to note that in 2017, Etihad Airways reported losses of US $1.52 billion, an absolutely insane number, and one we don't often see among airlines. However, just a year before that, in 2016, the airline reported losses of US $1.95 billion. That is a $400 million turnaround in the space of 1 year. And what's even more exciting for the airline is the fact that only this year have we really started to see massive changes roll out across the board. For example, the cancellation of multiple services, the removal of aircraft, and other cost-cutting measures, which I'll dive into a little bit later on in the video. I'm very eager to see what their financial results will be for this year later down the line, simply based off what they've been doing. While they certainly still won't be profitable, if they can get the losses under 1 billion, they are well on their way to becoming a profitable airline again, and this is something we need to remember. While Etihad are truly struggling, their cost-cutting measures are being put into plan and are actually working. When talking this potential merger, we have to attempt to understand why these rumours continue to reappear. To get to the bottom of it, we'll track back a few months when a deal was made between the two airlines concerning pilot arrangements. Back in June of this year, Etihad Airways informed their pilots that they could head across to Emirates on a temporary basis, quoted at 2 years. These pilots could fly with Emirates. This deal was announced shortly after the Dubai-based carrier outlined their pilot shortage problems. The downsizing of Etihad Airways has meant that some pilots are simply no longer needed, and rather than sacking them, Etihad have chosen to send them away for 2 years, in the hope that when and if they return, Etihad will be profitable again. Many took this as the first stage of the merger. However, the two airlines both strongly denied that rumour, and highlighted this was benefiting the two airlines and that was simply all. What if this takeover was to actually occur? Firstly, I would be relatively surprised, but also a little bit concerned, and you're probably thinking, why on earth? Well, sure, a super airline sounds cool and all, but on a closer look, it isn't as cool as we may think. As I discussed in my original video, posted a few days ago, Emirates are already dominating so many markets across the globe, and taking over Etihad would likely only lead to them tapping into the final few markets that they've left untouched, while also enhancing their current ones as well. What implications would this have? Well, because of the Emirates product, they can and would continue to drive out existing airlines operating on particular routes. For example, let's say an airline was operating into New Zealand from Asia. This airline may potentially be driven further out by Emirates, as they would have more aircraft at their disposal and therefore be able to launch more flights. If this occurred on a mass scale, we could see more airlines dip into financial turmoil as operating costs continue to rise. What does this lead to? Well, a full-scale collapse. What else? Well, for one, we would no longer have the big three of the Middle East. We'd have Emirates and Qatar, and I would have to say that Qatar would be under the pump, without a doubt. They've recently reported their own losses, and this can come partially down to the rising operating costs that they're facing themselves. Qatar would likely need to reevaluate their way of operations and find new ways to combat the new super airline that's located just a few hundred miles away. Other considerations we really need to take a look at is the impact on manufacturers if this merger did occur. Etihad Airways and Emirates have quite the extensive order list, and when we combine the orders for two specific aircraft, this is what we get. I'll go over the two main noteworthy aircraft, and that's the A380 and the 777X. Of course, there are other ones, but I want to focus on these two for the moment. For the A380, Emirates will still be receiving around 57 additional A380s at the time of recording. Emirates would likely also want to take on board the A380s from Etihad as well, so we can add more to that tally of 57. Next, there would be 175 Boeing 777Xs on order in total. This is from the original 150 with Emirates, and then the 25 taken from Etihad. In addition, would see the likes of the 787s and A350s also join the Emirates fleet. If cancellations occurred on Emirates' part, this would result in the loss of multiple jobs, as believe it or not, the regular manufacturing of aircraft is actually essential in keeping staff on. It's no use producing, let's say, one 777X a year and having 5,000 staff working on the aircraft. Another consideration is the shareholders and bankers who will actually in turn benefit from this sort of merger, and were potentially the reason something like this was leaked to the press, to hopefully just get the ball rolling. What else? Well, there are a large number of considerations we need to take into account, and the list is almost never ending. In this video, you've heard me go over just a few, and I'll finish up with just one more. It's very important to note that Emirates are a successful airline, and as I've mentioned, throughout the entirety of this video, they don't have a whole lot else to do within the industry. They are continuing to take over particular markets, and very soon will be introducing their 777X and 787-10 to further enhance their operations and work hand in hand with the A380s. Now, I should mention, new A380s will continue to trickle in over the coming years. Taking on board Etihad Airways may be beneficial down the line, but it might also not be very beneficial as well. Currently, Etihad are experiencing severe losses and are therefore unprofitable. If Emirates purchased the carrier within, let's say, the next year, they would need to inject their own money. And sure, it's always good to kill your competition, not in the sense of murdering, but in the sense of buying out. Simply though, I just don't know how good of a move this would be, because as we know, Emirates would have to inject their own cash to pretty much save Etihad Airways and get them to form into the one company. This would be a waste of money in my opinion, as Emirates is already tracking very well. If this merger did occur, I could only see it taking place after 2022, as this is when most have said Etihad Airways should, and I say should because nothing is firm, become profitable again. What are the positives from a potential merger though? As mentioned, shareholders will immediately be impacted in a positive way. Other benefits may hit Etihad staff, who will now have new long-term jobs, providing the deal includes Emirates taking on board all of Etihad's staff. If this doesn't get put in the contract, then would actually likely see thousands lose their job and livelihoods. That then transforms into a negative. I do hope you all enjoyed this video where I simply discussed the Etihad and Emirates merger talks. I hope through all of this video the situation was a little bit clearer as I've explained the pilot shortages, the pilots from Etihad moving over to Emirates, where the rumours originated from, how they originated, how they've developed over the past few months, and the pros and cons to the two merging together. This was suggested quite a bit in the comment section of the original video, and this is why I've taken the time to explore it to hopefully give you a better understanding. If you did enjoy the video, feel free to drop it a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. I do look forward to you all joining me in the next one.
Race all of these broken dreams in flight, and we'll fly.